Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. Time check. It's 31 minutes past the hour of 6 o'clock. Yes, and you're listening to the Ground Report. Yours truly, the Pitbull of radio in studio. What's up, Good morning, Pamela. Michael. What sweet lover. Margaret. Good morning. Wendy Ann, good morning. Ganesh. Nadira. Anderson Wilson, good morning. Hanifa. Afiza D. Mohammed, a pleasant good morning. Pamela Palu, good morning. Carmen, good morning. Krishna, good morning. Jennifer Ramjet, good morning. Henrik. Marlene, Cambridge, good morning. Barry Boudram. Good morning, Barry Boudram. Glenda Isa, good morning. Vido, good morning. Bernadette, a pleasant good morning to you. Nazali and Mr. Ali, a pleasant good morning. Anne-Marie Amin. Marilyn Sicharan. Matilda Rhodes. Kabul, good morning, Davy. Janelle. Boudram John. And Barry Boudram earlier. Zeroda. Joyce, good morning. Betty, a pleasant good morning to you. Esther Smith, good morning. Gobin. Lakshmi Dial, eh? Now right now again, Dave and Deborah. Always lock on. A pleasant good morning to you all. Carol, good morning. Faye, a pleasant good morning to you. And Mr. Clarence, Big Ram. Dennis C. Paul and Johnny. Rusty Nail. Princess Town, good morning. Roger, good morning. Balroop, good morning. Amelia, good morning to you. Damian Acton Vincent. Sabrangani, good morning. Matilda, all Matildas, good morning. Harold Maharaj. Devi C. Pasad. Rick Lachman. Sukal. Tara, all Tara's good morning, dress school. Dexter Tubas, good morning. Annette Drakes. $35,087, good morning. Gloria Escala, good morning, Nancy. Ruben. Sokraj. Rachel. Rupchand. Chand. Morning, Rachel. Trencia. Audrey, how are we going? Good morning, Darren, Daniel. How are we going, my brother, big brother? Kishan Ali, good morning. And Mohan brothers, good morning. Rupert, Gemma, Rampasad, Donna Lewis, Mentor, Gail, how we going? Echo of Horrors, what's up, buddy? Maria, Michael George, Samantha, Samantha, Sonita, Selvin Batiste, hey, Clint Mohan, how are we going? Vajanti Kisun, good morning to you. Hey, Christine Noel. Noel Christine, good morning. Pinky, good morning to you, James. Hey, Donna Gockins, good morning. Dress school. Brian. Chandra, Benjamin, a good morning to you. Time and Talk, a good morning. Peter Samuel saying good morning. Miss Brooklyn, Miss Lorna, Miss Lawrence, Dennis Lawrence's mother, how are you going? I ain't hear you a long time. Is everything all right with you? No, you wasn't well. You wasn't well. You wasn't too well, eh? Angela, good morning. Sodali, good morning, Carla. Dana Lachman, Joyce Ram, Lenora Comabach, good morning, Bobby. Bobby Sidru, Anthony, Jasmine, Ramnat, a good morning to you. Pastor John, good morning. Dave out in Canada. Yes, baby brother, good morning to you. Baby, good morning to you. Teacher Balmain, Miss Vancouver Video. Glenley. Valerie, how you going, Valerie? Richard! Hey, Small Dread and his wife, a pleasant good morning to you all. Mother Bernie, a pleasant good morning to you. Oliver Tobago, good morning. Silver Fox, all of you.
Good morning, Mikey. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. Good morning to everybody who's on the line. Andy, listen to this now. Just imagine, Venezuela good, Maduro and them real good, Imagine them trapped in this country, telling this country if America attack them, we will pay the consequences and things like that. What is wrong with these narco traffickers, these criminals? Eh? This Lopez man, this Venezuelan general, you send him to Trinidad and Tobago like we do you something? My boy, you could do what the hell you want. We really don't care about what it is you say or what it is you do. I mean, we care what you're doing in respect to if you want to play pelting bombs in Trinidad and Tobago. But the fact of the matter remain, if America attack you, there's nothing that you could do except run. Because when Trump and the Americans and them running by earlier, I think you are any time to pelt anything here in Trinidad. But the fact of the matter is, what Trinidad did to earlier, Trinidad never did anything to earlier. Is we money mining earlier since 2015 to 2025. This big hard-nosed, ugly, nasty, dirty, stinking bald-head man. Take all our money and mining oil in Venezuela. And we're still mining oil down here too. And you talking about we go face the consequences if America use here to attack all here. Auntie Kamala never said no such thing. Auntie Kamala said if Oli attack Guyana, she will allow the Americans and them, right, access the here. But we are nothing to do with Oli and America war. That is all the business. Why are they wicked so? All they just like to be bully because all they have a few little aeroplanes and because all the population bigger than ours. All they feel all they can do with all they want. Don't worry. You must remember that the OAS, right? And have other countries who will back Trinidad and Tobago, right? So don't give me that kind of stupid talk now, boy. Anyway, all right. God bless.
Hey, Hugh Rodriguez, better known as Ghost, which I know he passed away. So somebody's on Ghost profile. I jumped there when I seen Hugh Rodriguez Ghost. I said, whoa. But Hugh Rodriguez passed away. Ghost. Yeah, somebody had to be using Hugh Rodriguez profile, Ghost. And I heard Ivor Archie retired. I heard Mr. Khan and all praising Jah Rastafari that Ivor Archie retired. Roseman, good morning. BVR, Journey, good morning. Hugh Rodriguez. Rajpati, good morning. Ram Sarupe, yes. Rambo Ali, good morning. Davika Balkaran, good morning. Dave Maharaj, good morning. Ashmir, good morning. Bernice, good morning. Angelina, good morning. Is somebody using Hugh Rodriguez profile, better known as Ghost? I gotta call my friend and find out. Jenny.
Yeah, me again. You know something, what I realized with the CPEC issue, and they're showing all this grass and thing all over park and savannah and cemetery and kind of. This is not really a CPEC issue. This is something that this corporation usually clean. And sometimes the corporation give out these things in contract, not for CPEC, but in contract, because I know that because I used to work with a man who used to cutlass savannah and also burial ground. And that used to come to you on contract. So seeing all this thing what they have and they know, I want to say, well, it's that because CPEC are working. That is something deliberately that they're doing to make it look like it was CPEC them, but CPEC didn't used to clean these things, right? Because the council used to have their own workers to cleaning the drains and the sidewalk and the slipper drain and water and work colors in the road. So all this kind of grass thing, I'm now saying CPEC don't pick up garbage. CPEC don't ever pick up garbage. Swim call have the contracts going out to these contractors. And then I used to drive for a contractor in San Grande, a compactor named BPAT. And I worked for him for about 10 years before I lived through. So I never know CPEC picking up any garbage, but they're saying all these things now just to make the government look bad. So we have to understand what's taking place is a vindictive against the UNC government because it's a local election. So PNM want to get in some way along in there because they're afraid to lose some corporation that they have. This is what's going on. This is what I have to say now.
Henrik, good morning. Mary. Oh boy, Natasha. Pingala Mohan. Ken Van Daren Mohan. Martin Lewis, good morning.
Hi, good morning to Andy, all our Grum Report family, near and far. Paris, Tennessee. Good morning, Wes. Wes is back home in his country, Tennessee, and was always lock on to our ground report. Andy, your voice is all over this world. Wes, you take care of a blessed one. I know you're on job and listening to our ground report. Bye.
Yes, good morning to Wes out there in Tennessee. Good morning to you, Wes. April, good morning to you.
Good morning, ground report. A reminder to some people. The Prime Minister, the Honorable Kamala Persad-Bissessar, said she has good ties with USA and with Venezuela. But if Venezuela decides to attack, which is Guyana, and America wants to pass through Trinidad, she will allow them to. If conditional, and some people they're not dealing with that part. That's what she said. Plain and simple English. Have a good day.
Ann Brown, good morning to you. Ann Jackman, good morning. Kamala Samlal Singh, good morning. Ann Munsami, good morning.
Andy Williams, good morning, Mickie and Lennox and the people at Trinidad. Andy, you know when Miss Arima was on this program and used to talk, she's saying it's not the people don't want Kamala. It's the CARICOM and Venezuela and all of them, so we don't want she because they're not getting her to do what they want her to do. So everything that Miss Arima used to talk about with Kamala and these world leaders is not lied. Everything is coming to pass. You see definitely that they don't like this woman. But we love her in Trinidad and Tobago, and she stand up for you and we standing up for she. So all who want to talk, let them talk. Maduro over out of place, who whispering in she ears? Who the whispering he on when Stuart Young and Rowley was dancing the Congo line? Who the whispering he on? Who was giving him $1 million a year for oil where we ain't seen? Who was doing that? Who was in Dragon Deal? Who was in all them thing with them? Let him leave Kamala alone. If you have a problem, if America have a bounty on him, let him sit down and wait. They could do it. He could hide underground, below ground, across ground. When they're ready, they're digging him out. They leave our Prime Minister alone. She not trouble him. She said if he should attack Guyana, she will give America the space to give them some worries. So we're glad that they're out there because this setup, all little boy are gone, all little boy. Everybody have, but these things started since 1990 when they had this black card distributing guns in Caroni and all about the place. Them guns, they're still alive. Them guns, they're dead. All the guns that the police say they take off the street, I sure they didn't reach them there. They didn't reach to them there yet, AI and this and that and the other rifle. And there are plenty still outside and still coming in. So we have to protect the borders, let America stay out there and distract these illegal immigrants with all the guns and drugs and suffering the people at Trinidad and Tobago and making the young people more desperate than anything else. When they got to invade old people, they're killing them. When they get them money and they can't get them money and they're doing them all sorts of things. Showing picture on them to burn them up and all kind of thing. These are the kind of people we're dealing with. So we have to get help for we to get these people to do what we want with them. If she said blow them up, I don't see nothing wrong with that. The Bible said we live by the sword, they dead by the sword, right? So let her leave my Prime Minister alone, please. She's doing a good job, and God bless her, give her health and strength, and may she continue to be the woman that she is, a mother to all of us. Because a mother, the word mother means a lot, and she's one of it, right? Have a good day.
Bang, 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 bang. Musa? Down to Mother Birdie in Tobago. Oh God. All of them bad, but all of them ready to attack with full force. Yeah. That the kind of encouragement Honorable Kamala Prasad is given to the people of Trinidad and Tobago, man. And Mother Birdie making a joke, yeah? If Auntie Cam say, blow them up. That's what she said, eh? They live by the sword, they die by it. She talking like a general in the army. What? When that general in Venezuela, they hear him, Mother Birdie and all of them, they talking this so. And he decided to Lego bombs. Where we go see? What Tobago very serious too, man. Tobago a little further than Trinidad, eh? From Venezuela. What I go see? Them lieutenants, them generals, them major generals. What? Them women and them bad, them ready for war. F. They hate the F. Venezuela decide to interfere with Guyana. They are ready for Trinidad and Tobago to be a launch pad to bomb Venezuela. Oh God. Whoa. Kamala, Auntie Cam's really and truly, she brings some serious power back, boy. When Rowdy was in power, nobody want to talk so now. You would have heard Mother Birdie them saying, if Venezuela let it bomb Rowley. Oh, size, really sensible morning. Afrina, morning. Michael Scotton, morning. Ashbury, tell you morning already. Rambo, good morning. Abigail, good morning. All I hear any contributions this morning, eh, boy? I think that from yesterday that I play back as promised. Because people leave the thing I'll play. Mickie Thunder Boom. You ain't get through yet? Diane, how you going? You no reach? Rose. Johan, morning. Happy birthday, Kamala. Happy birthday, Kamala. Kamala, where's Kamala? Happy birthday, Kamala. It had to be happy birthday. Yes, I said morning to Kamala. Samlal Singh. Happy birthday to you, Kamala Samlal Singh. I wonder if you're still in the chat. May God continue to rate your youth right after Roadbrook, girl. Always good people. May God continue to bless you. Roadbrook birthday was yesterday. May you live to see many more. How old are you yesterday? Roadbrook says she's nearly 80. Is nearly 80? Yes, I think it's nearly 80, this woman say, boy. And she come between all kind of tear gas, bacchanal thing, boy. That's why Marlon Hawkinson them say all them old foul and them, oh God. Now me say that, you know. The fast for themselves. Look, there's someone nearly 80 was fighting for the people and still fighting. Kamala, all of them, this next Kamala. All you is Kamala. Here we are here, tell me between what? You don't tell me the exact age. You can all the woman don't like to see all age. When only 80, only see only 18. Age gracefully. So happy birthday, Kamala. I ain't seen you on day. Roma Price, morning. Delia De Silva and Neil De Silva, good morning. That's Neil De Silva, beautiful wife. Delia, good morning to you, love. Tendial Ramdas, you know reach. Why always so late? All right, Kamala Samlal. I see, I'll go back to check, you know. Kamala Samlal sing good morning and happy birthday. Pearl, Sammy, morning. Yes, Sammy, morning. Where's that Krishandat? Krishandat, a pleasant good morning to you. I want you to pronounce that day. I ain't gonna lie, you know, it has some East Indian name long. Abigail, I tell you morning already. Right, I ain't miss so much people, man. Oh, I'm missing Helen, morning. I don't see Helen Ali, morning. But KR, morning. Hoodie, you're not reach, you're late, morning. Nick, Nesta, I ain't see you a while on Nick Nesta, morning. LP, I now seen you too, morning. Mina Steiner, you're late. I now seen you there too. What happened? What time it is in Australia? Tell me what time it is in Australia. Doll, I now seeing Doll too. Sita, you too, morning. Right, Kamala is 56. Very good. 56 years old, man. Yo, Brady Bunch, I now seen you too. Matilda say stop counting she age. Oh God, woman don't like to tell people age, you know. Terry, I now seen you there too. Mela, you know now jump on. Miss Cuva, I now seen you there too. John, how we going? Joy Moonsey, Ram Lugan, morning, now seen you there too, you're late. What? Bamina, look at your way it is in Australia. And you now return? It's 1 p.m. you know. I say it's about 3 o'clock in the morning there, so you can't get that hour. Oh God, that late boy, 1 p.m. What time it is in Trinidad? You know it's 7. It's 1 by CS. Lunchtime there, you done cook. Oh. Sherry-Ann, morning, you know jump on. Amina, you and all know jump on, watch. Why are you late? Bridgelal, yeah. Annie, morning. Right, let me go back to the thing there. Oh, you just come back from the gym. You just gym it out, Mina. All right. All right, Sita, because I find you take long to come on, eh? You reach late. Abraham, in Queens, morning. You Brady Bunch. Oh, you're inside long time. You're now saying hi, but you one of them, I call them, let's go in people's house and nobody you know. I tell all them when they come in the house, or let them know. George, you what? You know jump on there too. Morning. You're out there, McBean. Comrade. Yeah, McBean. All the man in the other one of them talking. All the man himself talking, so. All them are burning and all of them out there. Attack with full fast. Whoa. Boy. Marlon Hawkinson and this next one. Wayne Felix, you know, Jocon. Marlon Hawkinson and Roger Alexander was still on that program and he wasn't there to Napuna MP. Sylvester, morning. All know they would have been like. We was listening to the program, the ground report, and we hearing them all fall on them. They saying that the Venezuela attack with full force. Oh, sir. I watch when that day when that man's me go like I tell only you know. Boy, when I hear them call all nice fighters. Ex-layers, it's ex-layers, some ways ex-layers is so old for them ex-layers. Man, I start to laugh, yes. I say, well, what's wrong with man Hawkinson and Johnny Bravo? Remember we used to call him Johnny Bravo, which is Roger Alexander. And them men went to tongue on the ex-layers. Ex-layers is ex-layers. Yeah. It's ex-layers, is it, everybody? Something so.
Hi, good morning. Europe's corruption. Andy Diego Martin, I can tell you, Diego Martin corrupt in the European office. It have people not working, they getting pay, and the person have to get half, and they will give them the rest. Andy, it's a no lie, and the PNM knows that. You understand? They knows that. But they want to bash UNC, but long live UNC.
The Ground Report with Mickie K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
Man says not 2 boats, it's 3. He said, don't have much boats in the water. Don't have much boats in the water. He said, not even fishing boats. Nobody doing so when to go and catch a fish. Oh, Lord. which means Trinidad and Tobago, always show the migrants from Venezuela to come to Trinidad and to go back. Because remember when you're moving as a migrant, they in them fishing boat. You ain't know if it's fish, you ain't know if it's cocaine, so and you could get blown out the water. So down to fishing boat. Stop moving that water, boy. So we sure the migrant situation slow down for now, you know. Hey, the man said nobody knows want to catch a fish. Oh God.
Bang, 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 bang.
Wanna tell me something now? If it's all here, but all is a fisherman, all illegal, all not a no jog. Would you all go in the water to fish at this point in time? Let me know now, let me know. Would you all go and take a fish, go for fishing in the water? They close, all Venezuela coast, they close, and fish. Ay, ay, ay. Me, if I was a fisherman, I really ain't going in that water right now, you know. Because again, supposing how they feel is drugs, I smuggling, and not really legitimate fishing. That is a serious thing. So give me an idea what's your thoughts on that. Would you all go fish as a legal fisherman? You ain't dealing with no cocaine, nothing. Would you organize and take chance and go and fish? And if there is a migrant in Venezuela, would you organize to take a fishing boat or a boat, leave in Venezuela to come Trinidad? Let me know.
Who has the necessary merit, ability, and integrity. A Chief Justice who will say country first and political allegiance or race, class, and creed would not get into the way. A Chief Justice who will devote time and energy in rendering justice for all.
According to the Constitution, the President is required to consult with both the Prime Minister and the Leader of the Opposition. But how much influence, you may ask, do they really have?
Traditionally, the President don't take on what they're saying. There's only one President that took on what they were saying. That is President Robinson, when they were thinking about who to put as a Chief Justice, and he put Justice Sharma. So the President has a heavy burden that President must not think about what political party she comes from, what race she belongs to, who she married, what school she go to, what religion she belongs to. She had to select a Chief Justice that is good for the country.
Though there is precedent for appointing Chief Justices from outside the judiciary, such as Hugh Wooding and Michael de Labastide, 3 sitting Justices of Appeal are currently seen as strong contenders.
Justice Mark Mohammed is first in line. Second one is Jeffrey Henderson, and the third one is Justice Buru Singh.
Both Mohammed and Henderson previously served as directors of public prosecutions. Henderson also served at the International Criminal Court at The Hague, while Buru Singh has been a long-time law lecturer. Despite being a senior legal figure himself, Israel Khan Senior Counsel dismisses speculation that he might be considered.
Someone like myself, I have passed the age to be appointed Chief Justice, and I do not have the necessary qualities in order to manage judges. I will make a bad judge much more Chief Justice. I cannot suffer fools easily that people making submissions which are not really good submissions, and they must listen and then give judgment. I do not have the temperament to be a judge.
17 years have passed since Trinidad and Tobago last faced such a moment. With that in mind, Khan offers his advice to the president in selecting its next judicial leader.
Let a conscious guider be objective and dispassionate, not to think about race, not to think about class, not to think about creed or political allegiance, and select the best person.
Appointed in 2008 at just 47 years old, Ivor Archie remains the youngest and longest serving Chief Justice in the nation's history. But Israel Khan, who has long called for his removal, remains critical.
He had a personal relationship with Prime Minister Rowley, and thus no way Prime Minister cannot put a successor. And AJ John Jeremy would have allowed him to stay in office as Chief Justice. I will say that John Jeremy actually pushed him out, and this is good for the judiciary and the country. I say to him, good riddance.
It could be a matter of weeks to a year before the handover officially takes place. Urvashi Tomori, Rupnarayan, TV6 News.
Say this once and I'll say it again. Ms. Santa Cruz said it in her closing remarks there. It is the media. The media.
Yeah, well, there's Pastor John, man. Pastor John contribution yesterday.
Say this once and I'll say it again. Ms. Santa Cruz said
Good morning. Well, meanwhile, I try to set back up that voice. No day for Pastor John. Morning. Nah, I ain't getting through, see? I ain't getting through. Yeah, you're not the board. You gotta call the phone. Call the landline. The phone's sticking up again. Tunapuna, call the landline. The phone not going on the board. Well, you call the land line. Not the 366. Our phone stick up again. Go ahead, caller. Morning.
Right. Good morning, Andy. Tunapuna here. Andy, I have two important matters I want to raise. One, I was a waste of time yesterday with the Chief Justice. Ivy actually called in a press conference to say that what? This is his last term and he will be retiring at the end of the year. One would have expected not to retire, but you should resign with immediate effect because you was a total failure. Andy, there were so much issues with the Master Air Caesar business, so much issues with Al-Rawi as the Attorney General, so much issue with Reginald Armour as the Attorney General, and all these, and you failed to ask anything, you know, and pronouncement about you. And you hear me?
Yeah.
Right. I am saying that he should have resigned with immediate effect. And I am also calling, because as I say, with so much blunders that he has made, and that they call up by Israel Khan for him to resign, it is genuine. And, you know, I want to say this too, Andy. There is also the expectation that the president of this country, Christine Kangaloo, should submit her resignation as well, together with the DPP, because these are people who hold in high office, and there is so much blunders in this country from people who hold in high office, and we've seen absolutely no resolve. The DPP with the Nelson Gate issue, where Al-Rawi say that he was, the DPP gave his approval for exemption, indemnity, and whatnot, and thing against thing. And it's only when the pressure was put on the DPP, Gaspard, then he come out and clearly and say, no, he know nothing. But how the hell you will take no action against the Attorney General then? For lying on you and misleading the country. So, all of them should submit their resignation, the Roger Gaspard and the DPP. No, Andy, I raised a concern yesterday on the program in terms of the foreign exchange issue, if you could recall. And my suggestion was that people who get in foreign exchange should be able to do something to generate foreign exchange as well. Not only to get foreign exchange, the forex, to import and retail down here. You won't bring in no revenue for thing. And I'm referring to an article by Indira Sajewal, the economist, and she was said the same thing. It was on the papers. The point I'm making to you, Andy, you check it how much hundreds of millions US dollars was given to this farm, this Arawak and these people, Nutramix. Nutramix was a rowdy partner, and Mohammed and them. Because he went to the funeral and whatnot, and he said that's the partner and whatnot. Because he failed to attend some government official office function, and he went to the man's funeral. So it just goes to show you that where this interest lies, that how come these people, we were looking to cut back on the food import bill, but people like them getting hundreds of millions of US dollars. Them spending that on the industry. Them depositing this money in foreign account, Andy. Same thing with the pharmaceutical industries. You see now Smith Robertson has now changed the name, albeit why they're being branded as being one of the biggest owners of foreign exchange. And Indira Sajewal made the point. She said, yeah, we don't produce pharmaceutical, but we have to import medication and things for the country and whatnot, for the pharmacies and whatnot. But then again, these people, they have the monopoly. And they are the distributors to the local pharmacies. They control the price of the pharmaceuticals in this country, all because why they have the license, the mafia connection that runs it, and they distribute to the other local pharmacies. I am saying the time has reached now that the pharmacy board, with all its small pharmacies around the place, have to get together and call and challenge the government that, hey, we won't have import license to import pharmaceuticals, because we cannot be at the mercies of these people You know, the Smith Robertson and all these big companies who doing all the import and doing all the inflated prices.
That one too, Rowley partner, Christian Mute, them.
All of them. So you understand what I'm saying, Andy? Because if it is we talking about cutting back on the food import bill and whatnot, how the hell Mute and all of them and Arawak and all these people and them getting this kind of money to do what? They may doing nothing to export, to bring in foreign exchange. Them just depleting what we have here. And then some of this money is not spent on doing anything for the country. It is being deposited into foreign accounts. And the point I'm making too with the pharmaceutical industry, Andy, it is the poor people who have to pay the price for the cost of drugs and medication. And if these people and them Smith Robertson and all these big companies with the super farm and all of them business and them who control the price and would have the import license to import the pharmaceuticals in this country, they ripping off people because they don't have to retail to the small pharmacies. I am saying that the pharmacy board, together with all these small pharmacies and drugstores, have to get together, challenge the government. Hey, we cannot go ahead with this damn nonsense that we have to buy from these wholesale distributors who ripping way off with the prices and all that, and it's a pressure on poor people have to pay the price. Therefore, we are calling for we to be given the license to import as well. And you're going to see the dramatic cutback in the price of pharmaceuticals in this country, especially when the poor people could hardly afford it, Andy, especially pensioners.
And not only that, those monopolies and them bringing in a real inferior drugs too.
Inferior drugs and all of that, Andy. So you have to think, you know, it is everything you see in this country is a mafia connection, you know, Andy. The foreign exchange, the pharmaceutical industry, the chicken and all these companies and all everybody, because how it is, when you check it out, that only these people getting this amount of foreign exchange, hundreds of millions, and not US dollars, you know, and other small people catching the tail to get something for the small business and whatnot. It means to say that when you're friends and financiers of the PNM, you get what you want. But the time has come now, and I'm saying the same.
What about Arawak? I find they're supposed to also get small businesses the opportunity to import foreign chicken.
But Andy, why should we? If that is something that is so critical to our country and is so in demand, Arawak, chicken, rather, the chicken industry, the food outlets and whatnot, why the hell we don't pay special emphasis into expanding this business as a local industry, so that we don't have to import that kind of thing, cut back on the food import bill, and then therefore...
No, but Arawak and them make the thing in the chicken here, and you mix Arawak and them, all the chicken is right here. But they just don't have no small prices. I think at a point, we used to get the foreign chicken, but they put high tariffs. Or it have the foreign chicken, but it have high tariff. What they could do is drop the tariff if it is that it, and somebody will be able to correct me and Mr. Tunapuna on the grounds of, could we, the people, import chicken from the outside to Trinidad and Tobago? And if yes, what is the tariff? And so we will know how to target our government, either with opening it up to give us the import of foreign chicken or drop the tariff. So average business people, whether African, Indian people, whoever, could import these chicken and them, where we go get it for less money than Arawak and Nutramix and them selling for the local chicken here.
And the things happening behind the scene that we don't know. The importation of eggs, the importation of chicken, because the local industry cannot supply the demand. I am telling you this, Andy. Therefore, we had to place emphasis, the government had to get down on these things, these companies that using this amount of chicken and thing in their business. Hey, here what's happening? All you have to invest more money here in the production of poultry. More money to produce more eggs, to produce more chicken so that we wouldn't have, because they're importing chicken, you know, and they behind the scenes, you know. Let me have fool myself, because the local market cannot supply. And these people are them using all these things And that means I'm not investing in local industry. Because here why? It costs them cheaper to import. It costing them cheaper to import, and they had a connection in customs and all these things and getting the tax clearance and all these things, Andy. It's the same thing with the, well, as I say, with the pharmacies. We don't produce, but then again, give license to the other pharmacies and the pharmacy board and whatnot. Local, not these big conglomerates and them, you know, the license to import pharmaceuticals and all. Because these people and them, everybody, including that, we could see the mafia connection with the banking sector, the pharmaceutical industry, the food importers and all of that, Andy. We, this government, have to get serious. We really get serious if they want to ease the burden of the poor people in this country who could barely afford it. By squeezing these people and them, this mafia connection with all these people and them, the banking, the food industry, the pharmaceuticals, and it's the only way we could stop this monopoly. Otherwise, here what happening, Andy? We in serious crisis because all the foreign exchange going out the country. And let me tell you something, Andy. These people and them Nutramix and Arawak and all of these people and them, you feel the kind of foreign exchange, the money that they're getting, that going into the importation of materials and things for the industry? No, Andy. They will use some, yes, because they have to import certain things to keep the industry going. But it's not all that money. These people are, Andy, I don't know what word to use, but they are harboring. These people have been bleeding this country of our foreign exchange. And the time has reached that the government had to put their damn foot down. You see, like how Kamala take a position now with respect to that U.S. issue and thing with Maduro and all of them. She has to take the hard decision. It will be unpopular, but in the long run, it's going to be in the benefit and in the interest of the smaller people, the people who catch it, the tail to make it meet. And we cannot afford to allow these conglomerates and these mafias on them to control the banking sector, the pharmaceutical industry, the food import thing and all of that, Andy. This is something really critical because even that and all, you've seen what's happening in the judiciary. Look at, you can imagine, Andy, cocaine missing from the Barataria police station. Andy? Hello?
That what? Cocaine missing from the Barataria police station?
You hear this on the news? Andy?
Oh.
They seized a set of drugs, what it was. I don't know if it's cocaine or marijuana, but the police had them seized. And they had it stored, I think it was 80 kilos or something like that. And it was on the Analyst program last night. And they had it stored in Barataria police station. And out of it, 20 kilos missing. And the package of the marijuana was wrapped in, Andy. They put concrete blocks or bricks. And they package it back with the same paper and whatnot and thing, and put it back where they had all these seized goods thing there. How the hell that could happen, Andy? You have
that police organized it. That to go on their block. Remember that police that had their own drug block, and they get free drugs. So they just to get there and send it out to their block, free money.
The thing is, the question is, if you have confiscated drugs and whatnot, that's supposed to be stored in a room under special, observation and things, strict control. The top honchos of the police station would know that, hey, not everybody has access to this place. It would have cameras and whatnot and certain people will have privilege to go in there. Not any and anybody. How the hell this thing could miss? And they replace it with blocks, bricks. They take the goods, they pack it back with them, and put it back in the bricks together with the seized drugs. How this could happen, Andy? They were saying that we need thorough investigation, and people have to be held accountable. The top brass people who is responsible for the police station must be held accountable. I don't know who it is, if it's the ASP or the whoever it is that's been running up the police station, the top brass people. Because this thing looking like a joke. Because if we're serious about fighting the drug trade and whatnot, And if you want the police tell them to have drugs seizure and whatnot. And how the hell the drugs could be missing from the police station? Andy, which supposed to be under strict observation and as I say, secure, properly secured with cameras and what other thing to make sure that you have this as evidence. Because when this matter go to court and you cannot provide the required amount of drugs that you say you seize and what other thing, this whole case could collapse, Andy. So this is to show you the mess that we in. And I am saying, the DPP, you submit your resignation. Christine Kangaloo, President, submit your resignation. Actually, don't wait for your retirement. Submit your resignation. Because here's why. Too much things happening in this country. And people who hold in high office, getting big salary, have police protection and whatnot. They don't care what the hell happening in this country. They're just going about this, the business as normal. But as I say, the mafia in every aspect of this country, with imports and whatnot, somebody has to do something about it. Kamla Pasadi says, sir. And not only that, some of the government, the past government minister, because when you listen to Penner, Beckles and all of them, Amy Brown and all of them, you asking yourself, where they was in the last government, when all these things was happening, and they failed to open them up, but now they want questions, they want answers from Kamla on everything that they think. But all they sit down there and officiate, presided to the destruction of this country, with all these things that was taking place. The time has reached now, Andy. I want to see that people from the past PNM, including from Rowley, Reginald Armour, Faris Al-Rawi, Rohan Sinanan, and all of them, Colmain Butt and all of them, billions of dollars missing. All kind of things cannot be accounted for. Confusion, corruption in the URP and CPEP and all this kind of thing. And you want to tell me this time now, not one person has been brought to face the court, Andy? This is joke, man. This is joke. The outside world watching me and laughing. Somebody say, well, what is really going on in this place, boy? I don't like to use the term Banana Republic, because them Banana Republic is better off than we. Understand what I'm saying? That's most of them South American countries are them who are banana producing industry. But Andy, I wanted to wrap up here. I saw on the news a documentary yesterday in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Andy, is something that touched me great, boy. What these people doing there for tourism and whatnot. There is a woman, an African woman. She could be in her early 40s here, boy. Her name is Miranda. And you know what business she set up, Andy? She set up a business that, if you see all the yachts and them were out in the sea, in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. You know what this woman set up a business doing, Andy? She have a boat, and she go into all these yachts and them, and collecting the garbage, and collecting the laundry, washing the laundry, the clothes and everything, taking it on board she boat, and carrying it back to them. So in other words, they're disposing the garbage thing, they have a garbage collection, which she doing. There's also another fella, Carlos, who is selling coconut water, going to these yachts and whatnot with his boat and delivering coconut water to all these businesses, right? There's the next one who's selling ice and whatnot. So what I'm saying is this, look how creative that these people could be to come up with such idea. And you know what they were saying? They getting foreign money, foreign currency. Look at the initiative they're taking. And that is a boost tourism and whatnot and things. You think anything like that happening in Trinidad and Tobago? Andy, this is a joke here. This is real, what you call entrepreneurship by one Miss Miranda. Going and collecting the garbage, collecting the dirty clothes, and bagging them, and labeling them, and going and washing them, because they show you she business place, where she have she laundry, and she have people working for she. And when they wash them, they bag them back, and they carry them, and they deliver them to all the yachts. Andy, this is fantastic. And I am saying that the time has reached that we have to come up with creative ideas if we want to encourage tourism down there. But in fact, the yacht industry down there, because Ilmot and Rowley and them kill everything. And then the yacht industry down on that side, it has generated into a drug transshipment point down there and all them kind of things. So when you know what I mean, Andy, what is happening here is under the PNM that they have destroyed this country in every aspect of governance. Every aspect. And I cannot foresee how come nobody in the PNM, including Rowley and all of them, Penelope Beckles, and you name them, that nobody has faced any court, no charges, it's only we investigated, we investigate. The hell was the investigation? The time has reached now that we have to start taking action on it. Let people see we serious. And only then and then we will feel comfortable to see that something is being done, because Andy, we cannot allow this thing to go on.
Thanks so much, Mr. Tunapuna.
Okay, my brother, you take care.
All right. And while Ole saying why the man ain't stop, he would have stopped if other calls was coming in. No calls ain't coming in. Nobody have a contribution to make. He's making different contributions. I, as the host, allow him. But if he was talking and other people calling to make contribution, I would have stopped him within a 2-3 minutes, 4 minutes time, and I would have stopped him. So he get a whole reign because nobody else wasn't calling to make any contribution. Right? Well, Lennox, I see the house like you're doing some renovations. Right? And I realize you're doing a little renovations, but all will be well. Don't worry. Let's give you only 5 minutes. Go ahead, Lennox Smith.
Yes, indeed, of course. Pleasant good morning to all and sundry, East, West, South, South Central, or Friends in Tobago. You see my green background? Well, that is supposed to be the original screen. That will block out, of course, unwanted information or pictures, and then give me the background that you normally would see. The app refused to function this morning, so I have to come raw because I know that time is upon us. Yes, of course, thank you very much, Andy, for holding on, so to speak. But of course, technology and the whole question of that cliche, if you want to call that, or that maxim that Murphy's Law, if something has to go wrong, it will at the worst possible time. Well, that has happened to me this morning. But thank God it's not something that cannot be remedied. One, and this is not a normal scenario. This could be considered to be an aberration, a one-time development. But that being as it may, I've listened attentively to Mr. Tonapuna, and I am sure that others would have expressed their concern because, yes, what is really happening, why it is that evidence that was supposed to be stored in the storeroom of the police, why evidence simply disappear. You would have, of course, persons responsible for the keys. You'll have people responsible for that part of the police station that houses evidence. And of course, there would be a recording system. And it will be very interesting to find out what has happened, where the breakdown came, so that a person could have not only take these items, but replace them as well. So we wait with bated breath as to really and truly, when you think you have heard enough and seen enough, here it is, you get something more. And I wonder if there could be anything else beyond what we have just heard, because this certainly is a further stage in the development of the collapsing of our criminal justice system. Our main player, of course, is the institution called law enforcement, that is supposed to not only investigate, but to also prosecute. But based on the evidence, that's the only how the judge or the magistrate, or these days we have other creatures of the judicial system, masters they call them, to generate efficiency. And we have not seen any kind of serious improvement in terms of prosecution, and where there is prosecution, very limited convictions, and that is because of the paucity of evidence, or the evidence is presented in such a way. Only last night, in fact, we had a discussion on that matter on the corridor transformation. And one of the things that was identified is the proliferation or the preponderance of police prosecutors who clearly will not be trained in the whole process of admitting evidence and the delivery of evidence, or more importantly, responding to a trained lawyer who may specialize in how evidence is either gathered and or presented in the court, and run rings around these prosecutors. And I'm sure that would have accounted, as we have seen in the past, too much not to take notice that many of the prosecutions fail as a consequence of either the poor evidence doesn't match the crime, the actual crime that is preferred on the defendant may be wrong. You have to make adjustments and adaptations and so on. And now we have a situation where there is evidence, but where it is stored in the police station, the evidence has disappeared. And Mr. Tunapuna is right. If you say that you confiscated 2 kilograms, but you bring 1, I know of a case where this was the issue. But hear what? When the evidence was presented substantially less than what was what the accused was brought to court on. And remember, there's a charge paper that says so much. Of course, the judge or the magistrate will be using that as a basis for making their judgment. So the person, when they said that it was on the charge sheet, 2 kilograms, well, of cocaine, but they brought 1. The person was, the defendant was strident that it wasn't just, it wasn't 1 at all. It was 2 or 3. And on that basis, of course, you generate a doubt as to the motive of the police or the prosecution, and as a consequence, the person would have either gotten off or would have been leniently considered by the adjudicating officer. So this business is precise, you see, because the criminal law is one where it is so serious that your entire life could be negatively affected or will be negatively affected by just being in the system itself. And therefore, one has to be extra. That is why, of course, you have evidence that will be advanced, and that person must be so structured that it goes beyond the shadow of a doubt. Yeah, beyond the shadow of a doubt. It simply means that your evidence has to be so high because of the impact it will have on that individual. Remember, the state will confiscate your freedom and may well, of course, cause you to get in a financial burden scenario as well. Combination of both most of the times. And therefore, it is so impacting that those who are preferring charges, the law enforcement agencies, must be very, very meticulous. And therefore, the adjudicating officer will have no choice where there is doubt to tell that person, I find you not guilty of the charge alleged, even though, of course, in reality, the converse may be the case. That is the scenario. So it is wishful thinking to just say, why not bring these people to court? And because you believe that, and the public view is that they have committed the crime. No, it's a different ball game when you have to get down to the nuts and bolts before the courts. And that is why so many people who may well be guilty find themselves, of course, in the bracket of being found not guilty. There is a principle as well that says that it's better 1,000 guilty people get away freed than you have a miscarriage of justice of one person. That is fundamental. And that obtains in those real scenarios, in those real situations. So 1,000 persons, better 1,000 persons who would have been guilty get away than you convict a person that is innocent. It's the same principle that is applied when the question of hanging comes up. If you hang an innocent person, you're not God, you cannot, of course, make life or retrieve that life, but it is a serious indictment on the society. Because in many circumstances, a person could get set up and then find themselves before the court, and because of the setup or the contrived or concocted evidence, the person is found guilty. And in the case where the punishment is death by hanging, you understand the difficulty. So there is a pro and con for the ultimate punishment. Some people, say bring back the hangman. Where it is clear and it is unambiguous, fine. But in most instances, or in too many instances, that is not the case, and an innocent person is hung. The rest of the society has to bear that burden because the criminal law is designed to protect the entire society. So when a person is hanged, it's as if you and I hang that person, even though they may be innocent. Yeah, that is the principle on which these operations are conducted. But let's go to the situation now with, I understand Donald Trump has said, the President of the United States, on his beginning his tour, or I think visit to the United Kingdom. So he's probably on his way there, or must have reached already, because I think he left yesterday, the United States jurisdiction. But he said that it's not one, but two vessels were in fact intercepted and destroyed by the U.S. Army in Caribbean waters. We understand that on the last occasion, yesterday we heard of one.
But you also say, we can play the video. Yeah. He also, let me play it for you. The man say, imagine nobody
out there
fishing.
To fish.
He said nobody's fishing.
Fish, yeah.
Yeah, but that man, fella boy.
Yeah. You see, that is the repercussion of those kinds of action, because what you have done, really and truly, and he shouldn't make slight of it. I take umbrage to that. Because remember, you're talking about affecting the livelihood of people, and a whole society may be deprived of protein. Fish provides a lot of protein. Some people, for health reasons, can only eat fish and so on as a meat. So you have all of that to take into consideration. So just to be frivolous about it, I think he should be saying that he expects that the army to be discerning, that they could distinguish those persons who are engaged in ordinary, legitimate activities, utilizing, of course, the exclusive economic zone of the territories that the Americans would be in close proximity to, even though in international waters, and don't make such a mistake. And if they make such a mistake, that the American government must be held accountable and take full responsibility. I would prefer to hear those kinds of statements where mistakes could be easily made in such circumstance. However, they have concluded that they have not made any mistakes so far, but he noted that people are afraid to enter the waters of the Caribbean. And I think that, to me, generates a kind of situation where people's livelihood would be affected by that. And in fact, we have heard the Cedros community, a fishing community down on that side, close to Venezuela in terms of borders, and of course the people avoiding fishing in the Gulf of Paria as well because of the proximity of our borders to Venezuela, which of course is the target of the American powerful military. So that is where we are. Any other issue that you want to raise? Of course, there are those who are still criticizing the Prime Minister, but we are of the view, I'm of the view, that she's on the right path. They can scream how much they want because somebody was asking the question. Oh yeah, Amy Brown was saying that she has put the region in jeopardy because it should be a zone that is free from any hostilities, free from war, and has maybe put a dichotomy in CARICOM. But I want to ask him a question, and anybody else for that matter who is at variance with that of the Prime Minister, in my view, seeking the interests of Trinidad and Tobago per se, and CARICOM as well, but it's just that because she is who she is, and opposed to the PNM or vice versa, that Amy Brown will make that kind of statement. I want to ask the question. If it is that he was the head of another CARICOM nation, so I mean hypothetical here, he's the head of another CARICOM nation, and Kamala Persad-Bissessar says, listen, if Maduro attacks Guyana, let me repeat, if Maduro attacks Guyana, she will allow the Americans to stage a counter attack from the soil or from the country or from the land space of Trinidad. What would be his response in terms of fracturing CARICOM or maintaining unity? What would he say? From what he has said, he would say, because of his animosity and his political tabanka, of Kamala Persad-Bissessar's statement, from what he has said, since he's saying that her statement fractures CARICOM, then he apparently would say, let Venezuela go ahead and do what they have to do, and CARICOM should stay out of that. That to me is what he is saying. But he will have to explain the fact that how come he has not run to the defense of Guyana, which is a major these days member of CARICOM. That is the level of hogwash and irrationality and, of course, incongruentness that these people put out there, not thinking at all. So because you have a beef politically with the present Prime Minister, you're so myopic that you cannot see that she is in fact generating a kind of unity that most of CARICOM, in my view, will not want to face. And that is why they have not made any unanimous statement on the presence of the Americans here, and on the present Prime Minister Kamala Prasad-Bissasa's statement, because it is a quagmire. They have a difficulty in making a conclusive statement, because inside of Kamala Prasad-Bissasa, the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago's statement, is a defense for and the promotion of the protection of a CARICOM, a major CARICOM community state partner, the Guyanese. So they prefer to make these wild statements to say that it should be a zone of peace, and of course Apron Brown trying to tell us that Kamala Prasad-Bissasa is generating some kind of fraction among CARICOM, but which in fact she is forcing them to come to the reality. And she made a statement that strategically put them in a vein, in a quagmire, in a situation where if they say and they keep the path that the place should be kept as a zone of peace and want to criticize her, they will have difficulties, is obviously, because what will Guyana say now if they are saying that a statement like what the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago said is one that will fracture CARICOM? How could it be? How could they rationalize it? How could they reconcile that when she said that if Guyana is attacked by the Venezuelans, Trinidad and Tobago will be a launching pad or a place where the Americans could depend on in order to repel such an attack? How you responding to that, Grenada, St. Vincent, Dominica, Jamaica? How you responding to that? And this buffoon, a former so-called diplomat, he probably looks more the part than he in fact is the part or played the part, because it's nonsensical. And as I said yesterday, I am waiting with bated breath to hear what the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago will say at the United Nations on these matters, because it is clear. And as she rightly said, and I hold no brief for her, but my common sense tells me that when she said that CARICOM is already fractured, that they have taken different sides, it's because of that same situation where they cannot reconcile. How can you reconcile that a neighbor will attack or a country will attack one of your members and you remain oblivious? You remain as if it ain't happened or ain't happening, having regard to the Argyle Declaration, having regard, of course, to the International Court decision, and having regard, more importantly, to the reneging by Maduro and his administration of the bellicose language and the threats that are being posed across the border about the Essequibo region that comprises 2/3 of the land space of Guyana, and it being a member of CARICOM. Can't reconcile that. That is why they could talk so glibly and so amorphously, but it has no form. It has no rationality. That is why when she was giving them an opportunity, she has given them an opportunity to come together on one subject. If Guyana is attacked, having regard to the threats by Maduro's administration in Venezuela, then that by itself should cause some kind of coming together, some kind of unity of position. But they refuse it. But instead, talking about a zone of peace in a vacuum, literally, without facing the reality of what the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, having taken the lead, said that they ought to have been talking and saying, and then you're talking about fractioning CARICOM. How is that possible with that kind of statement, defending a member state from the hostility, the bellicose language of a neighbor? How is that possible? So people, I trust that you are like me, recognize the level of what I consider to be confusion and the level of, I want to use a stronger term, deception, and attempt to project some kind of fraction emanating from Port of Spain, when in fact no such thing exists. No such thing exists. And Kamala Persad-Bissessar, the Prime Minister of this country, was merely indicating that there is a division simply because they don't want to face the reality as she has faced it. But she has to act in Trinidad and Tobago's interests. Because Guyana has oil, we have the infrastructure to process the oil. That's one part of it. The other part of it, of course, is that Guyana is close to us as well, just as Venezuela. And therefore, our economic interest is extended there as well.
Yeah, the other part
and
is
therefore she's talking in Trinidad and Tobago's interest. Go ahead.
Yeah, the other part is Guyana big oil is Exxon Mobil, and now Trinidad and Tobago already having a deal with Exxon Mobil, so the buy by Ghana, the right by we,
yes, so
and everything could come.
Synergy.
Everything could come in one direction. Yeah, real opportunities.
Yeah. So you want us, Brown, to talk about the Caribbean being a zone of peace without referencing to the bellicose and the aggression of Venezuela? You have to be a nincompoop. And talking about fraction, how is there any fraction when she is defending a comrade, a member of CARICOM? What nonsense you're talking? But they will want to try to project that to the fools and the unesoteric. I'll put it that way. That is what is happening there. Feel everybody are fools like them, or they could fool everybody. That is why, of course, over 100,000 of their members just left them before the 28th of April general election, because they are fools. Say it as it is. Protect Trinidad and Tobago. That is what you have to do, right? And if that is the reality, say it. But you're obfuscating that. You're avoiding that kind of talk, but saying just so that the statements of Kamala Persad-Bissessar, the Prime Minister, will fracture CARICOM. How is that possible?
Right, but who members? Who lost 100,000 members or whatever?
The PNM.
Also, it's them as who talking that shop.
Yeah, that was stated by the present political leader and confirmed by Al-Rari very early in the game.
Oh, all right then. Go ahead, caller. Pleasant good morning to you. What's your contribution on the ground report this morning? We will be locking off at least 20 past 9. I have an appointment for 9:30. Go ahead, caller.
Good morning, gentlemen. Good morning, gentlemen. Calling from the Barraco here.
Good morning.
Good morning, Lennox. Good morning, Andy. Andy, let me tell you something. Huh? If you notice, the support that going to Maduro and Venezuela, mainly coming from a PNM-like entity.
Yeah,
these are the people you're hearing it coming from.
The people who did love Raul, no matter what. The people who come down when he say he resigned and said all kind of how good he was. Oh God.
And you have to understand the culture and the thinking of these people. How they just live with their neighbor. Always fighting and cussing, and they're going to church, and as soon as they come out of the church door there, the neighbor so and so, and the neighbor this and the neighbor that. To live good, in a society. There are many countries in the world that have borders that live with a neighbor. Look, North Korea, South Korea, India, Pakistan, Iran, Iraq, all kind of thing. Now these people must go to war now and then and have bacchanal, but they come and settle the differences. Venezuela, we ain't joined in Venezuela with borders. We are separated by water. But if it is these people cannot understand that here what every Venezuelan that leave Venezuela and come to Trinidad live a better life. They won't leave a big country like Venezuela with all our resources and flee to come to a little tiny country that have limited resources and have to just accept wherever they come to meet. You understand? And still people risking that to come to Trinidad and Tobago. How much Trinidadians, besides Stuart Young's stepdaughter, leave Trinidad and Tobago and happy that they're living in Venezuela? Stuart Young's stepdaughter. Very few. Then every occasion you get that people enter Venezuelan water, they were subjected to all kind of brutal type of situation with the Guardia Nacional from Venezuela. They threw into all kind of prison where they couldn't get phone call, all kind of thing. So every single thing that comes from Venezuela to Trinidad, the drugs and the guns and everything, was bad for Trinidad. We never had no bacchanal with Venezuela. We always try to maintain a nice, peaceful relationship with Venezuela, no matter all these things was going on. Then come America decide that, oh, here what? They want us to curb this drug flow that coming into the country, Colombia, Venezuela, Trinidad and Tobago. We cannot side with Venezuela and tell America, hey, here what? We supporting oil and we are allowing America to come and clean up the drug system that is plaguing Trinidad and Tobago and causing some crime and thing in this country. Only a dotish PNM government would support something like that. Only an idiot like Rowley and Stuart Young and the people who would support PNM would support things like that. We could be a very peaceful neighbor to Venezuela, but Venezuela want to attack Guyana. They want to attack Trinidad and Tobago. All the focus is on Kamala Persad-Bissessar. When last you hear any Venezuelan hierarchy mention Trump name? Why did they open their mouth and talk, say, this man they call Donald Trump, he can come in Venezuela and invade Venezuela, we're going to do any worries. Why do Tishman Maduro come out and make a press conference and say that? And I'm sure that the last time he got mentioned Trump name. And I wish that he could do something fast and let me ease off this tension. You see, like how when it had conflict all over the place, it is start something and then you resolve it. Let me do that fast now. So that at least the people who fishing and things would have some peace in their mind, because the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago doing the right thing for this country. You see all them PNM dotish set of people who don't even live good with their own neighbor in the country. Just look at the support where there's be coming from Delson Street and all these places and where they support PNM. They're killing one another in their own district. Them is neighbors and they can't live good in a same apartment building, all in Maloney and thing, them stronghold where they support PNM. Them is the people who going to support Maduro. Them is the people who just benefit from Venezuela. Because the guns and the drugs coming in from there to supply them lifestyle and to create chaos and havoc in Trinidad and Tobago. So you'll find these people supporting that. And same Rowley, who was the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, they making bacchanal with Trinidad and Tobago. When he was in government, when he did lose the election, he make bacchanal with Trinidad and Tobago right here. That to show the mentality of these people. And now, with this bacchanal, with this dotish man Maduro and he pipsqueak and them across there, he fueling fire. The people from PNM fueling more fire and saying every single thing with the propaganda media, CNC3 and the Newsday and all these kind of thing, fueling that kind of fire to make these people, just imagine, where in the world you go see a reporter in a public press conference talking about, oh, I hear, well, a man call you, the Prime Minister a drunkard, and a man here call the thing. That is the level of lowness and stupidity that are we going through in this country. We can rise above the market crab mentality and be diplomatic and say, hey, you know what this Prime Minister is doing, what the Honorable Prime Minister is doing is right, you know. We have to be patriots. They're talking about, oh, she didn't want to keep the Independence Day celebration and all this kind of thing. And oh, the patriotic and rally going to protect the sovereignty of this country. Now when every Trinidadian supporter rally among the Prime Minister, you allowing these kind of duns and them to feel that how Trinidad so divided. And Trinidad, the people are against the Prime Minister, and them could stir up some kind of civil unrest in Trinidad and Tobago by provoking this kind of response on a public domain. And then it has the idiot and them supporting them kind of stupidity. We have to get beyond that. All they want to be patriotic, all they want to support the sovereignty of Trinidad and Tobago, well, support our Prime Minister. What she doing is for Trinidad and Tobago and the citizen. Not because one little bacchanal that we show support for Venezuela. And let me tell you something, you see all the luxury and the niceness all the accustomed getting, like in Trinidad and Tobago, all that go in 1 second. When you hear you have to go and buy every single thing in the market and thing, and you have to pay 10, 15 times more. You see all that's done ball already. As you see thing go up, doubles go up 50 cents all balling. Oh God, they're killing all you. Doubles might be about $10, and you know everybody in doubles supporting Trinidad and Tobago right now. So let's think about that and play dotish. Have a good morning, gentlemen. Let me see if I can make some hot sada roti and some Edo's choker or some kind of thing this morning.
You get this
you
get this one number, right? I'll send you number for you in a voice note.
I afraid to call these men because they all them that's operated like when you meet, if you go and you say, hey, we can take a drink and thing, them go want to drag bottle and chop and all kind of thing. But I always welcome. Let me tell you something. I one man, don't have no enemy in the world. If I tell you something, I tell you something, and we sit down after and we have a nice drink and thing. I'm in Chicago. He had to go quite Orlando to meet Orlando to drink a beer and eat boiled egg. You could go check man right here. We could sit down and drink something, and I could bubble something. Some duck coming up from Trinidad next month, so they call me. Have a good morning.
Well, it's a local thing you getting from Trinidad.
Local thing, well, but you
don't buy duck and no market up there. The real thing.
No. Them duck up here is Peking duck. That small and it has the flavor like Trinidad duck. Yeah.
Oh, all right.
All right, fellas. I'll take it light later.
Yeah. Oh boy, Lennox Smith, I see your new home is back. What I would say, you're going in the next room, you can turn that room.
I get my tail to pull up that this morning, boy. I said, well, look, I had to go raw this morning, so so that was temporary. And as I said, Murphy's Law, when things is to go wrong, it will at the worst possible time. I'm glad that the call-up, looked at other aspects of this situation, acting in Trinidad and Tobago's best interest, but also acting by extension and taking the lead in CARICOM in terms of saying what all of them must say. None of them could say or talk in a way to support something that is inimical to Guyana's interests. They know that.
Yes,
Mary Brown know that. But yet still, for narrow political, self-serving interests, he will talk in this glib way, in this amorphous way, and believe that somehow he's making sense. Doesn't make sense. Just ask him the question. If you're in charge of Grenada, St. Vincent, etc., you have to make a categorical statement. Would you now say then, based on what you're saying, that you support the Venezuelan position, and how would Guyana feel? I'm sure Guyana is feeling very comforted and comfortable based on what Kamala Persad-Bissessar, the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, has been saying, because it shows true unity, true affection, and true and consistent with the Shagarama's declaration, one for all and all for one. Not the rest of them, including, of course, people like Brown. Notice the opposition leader is not talking about a position. What they're doing is criticizing the Prime Minister without committing themselves to a position on the matter, because they will have no choice but to ultimately take the position of Kamala Persad-Bissessar, because she has said the right thing. You have an aggressor to one of our major CARICOM partners, and if that kind of unity and affection has to be sustained and projected, then you have no choice but to say, leave Guyana alone.
Yeah, they have no choice.
Minimum.
Hold 1 minute.
Maduro, leave Guyana alone. But they ain't doing that. But a zone of peace, my friend.
Go ahead, my
friend. Andy, Orlando, I just heard your body talk. But anyhow, boy, in Chicago, that's a cool area, boy. I've been to Chicago. I don't like Chicago, man. That place is so cold, like Canada. That's why that's the reason what it means. Like buses out of Boston. Boston is good degree, good 0 degrees. I can't say. I think Orlando, the lovely Orlando temperature. But anyhow, those Peking ducks are stocks, man. Those Peking duck stocks. We get a real deal there. Muscovy. Muscovy ducks are the best ducks. It's just like pretty. And the taste just like pretty. Really good. Anytime you want to put up Muscovy, I'll hook him up with a nice good Muscovy. And I got about food that I have and prophecy for my food. Tell them, don't worry, man. I got everything, goldie, everything on here, man. I plant those things, and those are organic. I are organic. I just kind of organic, man. I plant the tomatoes, the goldie, the peas, the pumpkin, I have plum, I have cassava. All sense wrong, nobody interferes with it. But I talked to your buddy yesterday. Can you accept it for me when we talk for nearly an hour? Yeah.
But Kerr, can you close? Kerr, can you close?
Yeah.
Barpo far from Oliver.
Yeah, Chicago. I wouldn't. Chicago nice, but I wouldn't live there. Be honest with you, it's a nice thing, but I wouldn't live there. It's too cold.
Well, like nice. Somebody say how it is. Somebody say how Barpo could get duck from Trinidad, but they don't allow meat to come in. Would he be able to get Trinidad duck to go in?
Cook meat. You gotta cook it.
Oh, that'll cook it.
Yeah, what they do, they mix it up in curry and tell the administration they cook. But that's not the curry, that's it.
Oh,
all right. Yeah, but some places don't, because in Miami, they know. Like if you come to it pudding and thing, they know what is pudding, they know what is the thing, if you take it and throw it away. So they know. But some places, like Chicago and things like that, mostly a lot of Indians from India live in Chicago. But it's too cool. I've been there, man. I've been there in the cold, I've been there in the summer, I've been there. I'm not going to be honest with you, I've been almost half of the state every day. But vacationing. But it's a nice state, but it's cold. It's nice, it's cold. But I wouldn't live in New York. New York is a dump.
Oh, well, all right.
I like New York, but anyhow, I know Kendrick live. I'm gonna check him out. He and I go to over.
Hey, all right. Well, you and Kendrick go organize and bubble on the pot. Oh boy. Nice. Let me play our next voice note.
Yeah, Mr. Rahman. So, I understand. He can't help it. Like he can't.
Andy, good morning. How did you got half the Napuna, Helen and Damien on the program? Yeah? People have a lot of children as we listen to the show and watching the show. And that is not right to be doing. You have every 5 would call him out, one is a swear. You see? That way other losing great thing. Because people don't want to listen to that again. You know? You have to stop. He have no decency in him. You check and see all the time the dam and the hell and the blast and all kind of thing over the program. Huh? You ever see that happen in any other program except yours?
Well, again, all I will say again to that, who do here will feel we love Mr. Tunapuna's contributions. And if it is Mr. Tunapuna, we really can't stop the damning and the bitches and the all them kind of thing there. Again, as we tell you all, most likely we will be back on mainstream media sooner than you all think. And Mr. Tunapuna, we had to organize and send a voice note. We will have to go through that voice note first, because we really don't want that to send no correspondent of any caller, because it's not to say that they send anything to the host and them, you know. They send thing in referral to callers and what they're saying. And most time is Mr. Tunapuna. You know, it's not a joking matter. Mr. Tunapuna, you really have to stop that talk.
With Tunapuna, it appears that it's part of his makeup. That's how he expresses himself. But I think while you could use one or two, let's say in a minute-long presentation, but it's the frequency with it, of it, that takes away from the presentation itself. Because you are now focused on why it is that he would be using such caustic language every 2 words or every sentence.
Remember, you and all say Lennox, it's not bad language, but it's just against the rule of that.
That's right.
It's against the rules, and it's problems.
And then the frequency with it.
Yeah.
You know, from time to time, you may get annoyed and you use one in a presentation, a dam or something of that nature. Of course, people like me will use nincompoop or obtuse, as the case may be. But of course, you want to keep it within the local domain, that is the local parlance, that is the local language that or genre that we use. So you use it, nothing wrong with that. But to have it done every 2 words or every 3 words, you know, it takes away from the presentation, and that is a objective critic. Is not one that is nestled in any agenda, but is one to say, yeah, but please, you know, use one, but to do it with that level of
none. Boy, we have no choice. When that time reach, he's a good one. He comes with good contribution.
It's a good practice. It's good therapy, and by the time we are ready and we are in a place where we are being let's say, looked at from a microscopic level for any infringement of tax rules, then you could practice from now.
Yeah, you need to practice, Mr. Tunapuna. But we will not, again, we will not be, if we have to sacrifice.
Is very, very, very important.
If we have to sacrifice your contribution, it have nothing to do or you making a contribution to the program. It have nothing to do with we hating you personally, or we don't want you to contribute personally. But if we have a choice, not if, when we are back on mainstream again, we will have a choice either not to get a letter from TAT based on what it is, the do's and the don'ts when it comes to the language, or we don't, when you call, we will have a cut you. We don't take a contribution. We will have no choice. That you may not be able to contribute on the program anymore. So long as we go back mainstream. All now, okay. If all now you could try to practice. All now, and we hope that by now and then, we really see you making contributions and it's none of the words that do not allow. If other than that, so long as by now and when we think and you making a contribution and it's still words of that, we're not saying that it's not in the Bible, we're not saying that it's not in the dictionary, we're not saying that we don't agree. All we're saying is that the people rules, that are problem it. They send letter stating about to threaten people's license based on the language being used by callers, and we will have no choice but to disallow your contributions to the ground report when that time reach, with no hard feelings.
Because I mean, a classic example is the last caller. He called in to complain about that, so it shows that it takes away from the presentation, because so many things he said, but yet still that is what the caller called in order to address. So you see that it's almost good material falling on infertile soil.
Right, but look somewhere like Dindial Ramdas and Joyce Ram. What is damn? What is hell? What is, oh God, is not a curse. Again, die the rules until the government bring legislations. That is the people rules, and we have no choice. Understand it all? We understand what they're saying. But it's either we make our own rules and we say, hey, that's letter nothing, and then people gain letter. And after they keep getting letter, they come and want to lose their license, and then we go lose the program online because on mainstream. That's what we're going. So if we want the program to remain mainstream when we go back mainstream, we cannot allow it. We have to sacrifice Tunapuna for the sake of the program if it reached to that. And I have no problem with Mr. Tunapuna. I like his contributions, but I'm not willing to risk any tat letters coming to us when we go back mainstream. It's a no-no. He will just have to be the sacrificial lamb. It is what it is. Let me continue. At least again, Mr. Tunapuna still have it fear enough where he could try. Try hard. Don't use no damn. Don't use no bitches. Don't use all right. All now on social media here. Normal, all right. But like how I using it, whatever. But oh God, but just try hard and have a contribution without using them things that say is a no-no. And yes, Gael did get written twice. Twice the right Gael. No, we not offer Gael because of that. It is finances. But Gael get 2 warnings of their license. And Errol saying he really can't take that kind of problems. So, Mr. Tunapuna, you have to. It's going to be hard when we go back mainstream. You not being a part of the program as a stalwart that have always been with us. That even protests with us. Everything, your contributions is real good. You bring up issues that no one else does. You have real facts on things that they be saying. But it will be at the cost of the program being mainstream and back again to just social media. Are we willing to take that cost? I not. Because I'm ready for mainstream again. Because we have a mainstream media that is totally against our government. And we need mainstream to highlight the things that our government is doing. And to make sure our message is more widespread. We need to get back our maxi taxi drivers, PH drivers, bus drivers. A lot of people don't be on cable. A lot of people don't have internet.
There must be a counterbalance, and therefore level the playing field. The opposition must not get the upper hand and do it with some degree of exclusivity without we being able to, of course, neutralize or disabuse. Like, take, for instance, what we talked about, Brown's statement without making a commitment. That is cowardice, right? You cannot say what Kamala Prasad Bissessa has infringed in terms of in terms of CARICOM and fracturing CARICOM. That's a serious statement.
Yeah.
But you can't prove it because the utterances does not equate with that kind of what I consider me irrational logic. Is a square peg in wrong hole talk. He talking.
And
but we have to find ways and means to counter that, and we are limited by where we are now.
Exactly, and if we was on mainstream radio and TV back, we'd have had the PNM opposition, the country that been hearing by. You know it is every maxi, most maxis in Trinidad and Tobago used to look onto the ground report. Most taxi drivers, PH drivers, bus drivers, panel vans, truckers. All you understand the kind of influence the ground report had? We still have it.
Because right now, all of them would have known what Brown said. All of them, however, in equal portion, is not familiar with what is being said right now and what was said then, to counter that kind of what I consider to be myopic, regional and hemispheric vision or policy espoused by a former Minister of Foreign Affairs.
So we need to get back reach.
I mean, wrong, yes.
We need to get back reach, and we will get back reach. Don't worry. And mainstream media, the two of them, they will never be able to penetrate as much as they're penetrating right now. Because some of the things that we talking here, them not talking it, where the citizens could know exactly what's going on. Till citizens talking stupidness. Why can't they not she out? What she mean by she will give America thing and da. But all what only them saying, mainstream media and them talking it. And always the truth. What we talking, most of the people not hearing it. That is the important mainstream media. And when we get back there, we ain't intend to lose that back. If the people rules is no, none of those language, it's none of those language. If somebody had to be sacrificed, so be it. He will be sacrificed for the greater good of Trinidad and Tobago. He's a comrade, he's a stalwart, and he, Tunapuna, will understand.
Bang, 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 bang.
Now let's continue. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Go ahead, caller.
Good morning to the ground report, the magnificent tree. Well, what I had to tell Mr. Tunapuna, if he want to continue using those type of words, he have to get it from the big word man. Use it in big words, brother. When you're using big words, some of them wouldn't understand what you're saying, but don't use it in small words. You understand what I mean, Mr. Lennox?
That's why I used the examples earlier. I would, instead of using that, I would say, of course, obtuse, or I would say nincompoop, or I would say that they have a disassociation with reality.
maybe like you have to send some kind of note for them. Well, I'm going on Mr. Andy now. According to what I hear, Dominic Romain have on the social media where Wayne Stone spent over $20 million in San Grande. Well, I know Andy walked with him. So I want to know if Andy get nothing out of that $20 million that he talking about.
Andy Williams never get not 1 cent. Walking, he use his own money in his pocket too. That is stupidness, Dominic talking. No 20 million never spend in Sandy Grande campaign. That is nonsense. That's a lie.
You understand where we're going with this? Because here his theory that we stood there answer back. So if you answer back, it means he spend that. You understand? I just show you what really going on. And these things is being spread rapidly because these things coming to me on my phone. You understand what I'm telling you, right? I rebuking this thing because watch. He's saying right now they have they changed the governor, right, of his central bank, and how they can talk about the $2.6 billion that they was talking about when they have a new governor, which means that is stupidness, right? Every little thing they're trying to make it look like it bad, but he talking all them things, and he saying, where is the evidence? But he ain't have no evidence, because he talking about you have to have thing on paper.
And it's been allowed by mainstream media and on social media. So again,
this is what I said.
We need to get back onto mainstream media to be able to counter that.
Is that what I'm talking about, Mr. Andy, right? So a lot of propaganda is being spread daily, right? Because they even had a fella who I know dancing with Mr. Winston in Grandy, and they call him I am gangster. And imagine you calling a young fella a gangster who is employed with WhatsApp and making his own song and singing where he could make $1. And now he's being labeled as a gangster. You just understand where we're going with this. But the idea is fear is the key. You see Miss Kamala Bissessa? She creating so much of fear in this country. Not the way when I even had to say, even with Mandero, right? That he wanted to know where she getting ideas from, or where she getting this kind of talk from, right? Because Kamala is showing a kind of fear. I believe that coming through God. And she know who she talking to and how she talking to, right? Maybe Barbara Brooke might be leading that form. So when you understand the system, they're going at she and trying to contradict everything that she's saying. But I know Ronnie was doing that too. That's why he was able to keep Imbo there, because Kamala didn't want it. Hines, because Kamala didn't want it. Stuart, anything Kamala didn't want, they keep. And it's going on with the same system. Anything Kamala put in place now, Penny and them coming to discard that and to say that wrong, and that wrong, and that wrong, and that wrong. So all the time, Kamala was under attack the past 10 years. Kamala being under attack. But somehow, the people holding on to her because they know it's goodness, right? And goodness will follow us right through. And all we have to do is to make this sacrifice for ourselves. Because when you look at some of us who are working for emancipation and saying that freedom for the slave, right? They know what a slave go through to get emancipated. And a little thing like CPEC now, you ain't want to go through nothing for it. You ain't want to go through no pressure to get back CPEC online where you could benefit. And in years to come now, we could hear, you know, when Kamala closed down CPEC and Europe, the people them decide to make a sacrifice to make their life come better. Why we can't hear that later on in life? Why you only want to go along with these people? Everything is a cutout. Well, I never know the PLM like cutout. They say, oh, the UNC like cutout. No, them take over that. In every little thing, they're ready to go to court. I don't really understand these people and them. It's only trying all the time. Is he black man now? Is he black man now? Is he black man now? How the hell? No, I want to say this hell all the time, but how the hell? I'm not saying hell, hell. H-E, right? Right, Mr. Lennox, are you saying a different? How the hell? Right? So
you're smarter than Tuna boy. Oh Lord, you're good.
No, yes, I think you word in a different way. Right? So me, I said it like how them think it is.
No, but Tuna smart enough to be able to use big words in a different way, which will mean the same thing. You don't have to use them thing what that only jumbie and we.
Well, this is the whole point, but he not listening to Mr. Lennox. I don't listen to Mr. Lennox. Mr. Lennox is a real crack shot, you know. I never know a man could use all these kind of words. How he remember them kind of words? Boy? He have a brain like a computer. And this man really, I really love to listen to Mr. Lennox, honestly speaking. Right? I feel I'm too much emotion this morning to even talk. So I'll listen up there.
All right.
Okay.
Oh boy, let me organize and play some voice note. I still have Pastor John voice note to play because we leave it a little early today. Oh,
It reminds me of that university student who approached me. I think she's from Labre. And afterwards, she said, Mr. Smith, but boy, because she asked me to review her work and so on when she would have, before she presented it to her lecturer and so on. She said, well, all right, Mr. Smith, well, I've completed. And she thanked me profusely for the input that I would have made. So I suppose that reminded me, that statement of the last caller reminded
what
me.
KFC, because you're stopping my voice notes them. So talk quick. Let me just do them voice note because we will be cutting off a little early.
Bless them morning, Andy. Bless them morning, Lennox.
Wait, KFC. We in here. We in here now.
Morning.
KFC. Morning.
I judge disturbing the fishermen from down San Fernando Wharf there. Because when the boat will park up down there, the PNM mahjong thing and mahjong where the boat was, and the fishermen them complaining, you're abusing the power out. You don't sit on the GC board already. What you want again? I judge. And the PNM can't do the trade, they can't fly the trade, they complain about that motorboat from the Ravi Ratiram. Or they look into that. It's very serious. People need fish to feed the nation. When the people are going with the bag of ice, they can't pass.
But anybody going out there and fish right now? The way how Trump blowing out boats out the water? I don't think much people fishing.
Right in the Gulf of Paris, and we need fish. We need to eat. And I was them wasn't getting us when the PNM was there, you know, like. We talk about that at 91.9 and try to defend Iowa George. They ain't give that play, they mash up the thing and they try to abuse power out. He done eating already. How much you want to eat again? Please.
Yes. Yeah, the argument is a valid one, my friend. I think he cannot be disturbing the livelihood of the fishermen there. And if it is that there is a requirement to make some kind of compromise, because I understand is the jetty is the problem. The fishermen
right, but I could always say he's using his boat for fishing. At the end of the day, what is the rules? He not breaking no what rules he breaking really? Because I see that they start to blame Ratiram and whatever, and I see Minister Ratiram still out it. Because PNM people said to call up Ratiram name, and you know, you see people said to call up the man name on that or wherever it go. But in real, is Iowa George doing anything wrong? I don't want to be for Iowa or wherever it go. I was just watching how the plane down Ratiram and whatever, and I realized he keep away from that. And the fact that he keep away from that, it had to be that Iowa George ain't doing nothing wrong.
All right. Because I was just saying that.
All right, what I was saying, he had the boat parked up there for what? If you see one of the boat, whether it's a party boat or was a party boat or whatever, you could say, well, you're using your boat on this occasion for fishing. It's just a big fishing boat and not a small one. They could lose with that.
Is it interfering with the livelihood of the others?
How are we going to interfere with the livelihood? They're just taking up a little space because it's big. I
don't know. I'm just saying that if that becomes an issue.
How about picking up the livelihood? The fishing there? Are they fishing there? Right when the boat park up the fishing there?
I don't know.
Right. And other boats. No, but what's showing you going on? Because I watched the thing. I was going to even do a video on that. What's going in Iowa George tail and all. But then when I get the nitty-gritty of all of that there, I realize I can make a fool out myself. Because what rules is he breaking? The only discomfort they have is that it's a big boat and it's taking up space. It's picking up space. So if he boat move, about 4, 5 more, 6 more boats, 7 more, you could be able to come in. But again, I know it as a thing, but again, if I own the boat, I will just simply say, my boat will park up there as a citizen. It's a fishing boat too. Talk done. Morning caller.
Morning, everybody. So I guess you're talking about the threat from the Americans accidentally blowing up a fishing vessel. That is not very unlikely because there's a procedure. The first have to identify it, and those drug boats have a very clear
Right.
design.
Hold 1 minute. Rosa say, Andy, you don't understand. They're blocking up the entrance where they have to pass. Andy, when the other boats have to put ice, gas, etc. Right. So on a grounds like that, I will talk to Iowa George. On a grounds like that, they need to will talk to Iowa. Let him know, hey, here it is. Well, you want to park the boat a little different part because you're blocking the part where we had to go get we ice, where we had to go get with this and with that. Well, all right. So, again, the fact that the government ain't moving, the fact that the fisherman and them get on bad about it and it's still there, is because, again, he ain't doing nothing wrong. So what they need there is mediation. And I won't know what to be a big man if it's so. And your boat so big that it's blocking people from having easy access to get the necessaries that they need, ice and gas, etc. He need to make provisions to don't block the damn people too. Well, let me know what it says. To don't block the people too. All right, go ahead, nobody.
All right, so what Lennox was talking about the Venezuela situation and what the Prime Minister said and what you're getting a lot of local, I guess mostly PNM activists and so on saying, don't forget people, this is an international situation and it involves big players. It involves the Russians, the Chinese, the Iranians, and of course the Americans. And the thing is, like I've said before, the CARICOM nations, like Lennox was saying, they're throwing Guyana under the bus, and they're throwing Trinidad under the bus, and basically supporting Venezuela because they want Petrocaribe back. Venezuela used to supply all these islands with free gasoline, whereas they used to have to pay us Trinidad for it. They don't want Trinidad gas that they had to pay for, or Guyanese gas now. They want Venezuelan free gasoline. They're singing for their supper, especially St. Vincent, because they were the first to start back when Petrocaribe started back in 2022. So I firmly believe it's largely the puppeteers of Venezuela are using local forces to create this big stink, and certainly within the region. But here's the real problem they have. Like Lennox was saying, Guyana is going to replace Venezuela for Trinidad's downstream industry. Trinidad and Tobago has all of the infrastructure to convert oil, raw oil, and raw gas into many different petroleum products. Guyana does not have those facilities, and they won't for a very long time. But they have a lot of oil, and they have a lot of gas. It is a hand-in-hand arrangement. And I used to say before, long time before the election, that there's something called the Bombax manifold off the southeast coast of Trinidad. This is where all the different fields will tie in. There's a big structure under the water. And above it, there's something called the Cassia Bravo, which is, back then, in 2003-ish, when it was put down, was the largest offshore gas compression platform in the world. And that was meant to service all the fields out there. But all of those fields are now drying up. So the infrastructure is still there, but it has no input. Guyana is here now, 200-ish kilometers from the Bombax manifold is Guyana's Liza oil field, right? And all you have to do is to tie in Liza to Bombax. That was my argument. And we have a beautiful arrangement there at Guyana. But up comes Exxon. And Exxon has found a big gas find right next to Guyana's Starbrook field. So what is going to happen almost certainly now is that Exxon is going to put down the infrastructure on our side, not only to drill for oil and gas, but to also tie in, to run a pipeline to be able to tie in to Guyana's fields so that Guyana can sell us gas. It will connect and go straight to our trains and all of our industry, all the methanol plants and everything else. And we are going to make a killing. We are going to make a killing in next few years once that is done. And the Venezuelans and their puppeteers are very upset for that. So they are using CARICOM to make a big stink about this whole thing, to try to derail that. Okay? So don't just be caught with what is in the news. There's a lot of things playing in the background.
All right, thank you so much. Remember, we had to wrap up early. Go ahead, next caller, morning. Go ahead, morning.
Morning, Andy.
Hey, Miss Santa
Good
Cruz,
morning to you, Lennox. Good morning to you, Lennox, Mikey, Newbie, and to everybody out there. Andy, they really say ignorance cannot be educated. And some of the things that I am seeing on the chat, because of the fact that we talk about the Telecommunications Authority, right? That we afraid them. Who is them? No one will continue now, or they continue encouraging him. Encourage him and all who want to come here talk about who washing off and who are Down syndrome and who is a hormone, who is just that and the other. All that will be taken care of just now. All of that. You hear? Because it is distasteful. All you probably don't have children. That if they go to school and they tell them all they have to abide by the rules and they don't abide by it, what was going to happen, Andy? And they will be disciplined?
All if they continue again, as I say, we're not sacrificing mainstream for no one.
Don't, Andy.
Bam, the gun. Let them go ahead. Everybody go.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. And all who want to come with the ignorance on the chat, let them go right ahead. Because when they speak so, which they don't have children in school, they don't have children to educate. Because if you have to keep educating a big man like that, that's why our school children and them getting on so. Because it's stemmed from home. How could you come and say the word in the Bible? So because the word in the Bible, right, is all right, and somebody else is telling you don't say it, you're going to come here and say it as well? I tell you, ignorance cannot be educated. Let them continue with the ignorance. And then when the school children and them behaving in that manner, come here and cuss the parents. Don't cuss the parents alone, cuss all yourself as well. Because all they're encouraging wrongdoing. Right? And look at how many times Amar got letters. And not Amar alone. Other radio stations that he was banned from. For the cursing and the length of time. I am absolutely sure people who will listen to Amar from the time he started to talk. 1 minute for you, eh? You understand? That's how it used to be. Why now that all you, because people talking about it, all you have to be cussing them on the chat. That's real ignorance. I hope all you are children to educate, right? Because you can't be telling somebody it's right to do this and that's wrong, but encouraging your child with something else, right? That is nice. If you know how nice all you're singing. I don't care who come after me, you know. And I don't care who come after me. Because our first priority is to secure this program. Because we have been bumped around all the way around. Right? And we have to secure this program. And any which way that we can do it, we are going to do it. And all you better get working on a disclaimer, you know. All you better get started working on a disclaimer. Don't wait till all you reach over there. Start working on a disclaimer. And who want to come after me could come after me. I don't care. I don't care. And you think I don't curse? But I know when to act decent. I know when to be politically correct. I know when and where to say what I have to say to who I say. My personality is who I am. My attitude is who I am dealing with at the time. So don't mix the two. Don't mix the two. Yes, you are passionate. Nobody not saying no. And I'm talking about Mr. Tudapuna here, not the next one who like to come and insult people. Right? And we know you are passionate. But no, you have to keep up. And the next thing, Andy, the next thing is the accusations. Accusations. Accusing people of thieving without proof. I keep telling all you about that. You see, and if we don't practice it from now, are we going to wait till we reach over there to do something about it?
Nah, we have to do it from now. Nah, from now.
Yes. Yeah. When your child's small, you keep telling them, don't go by this, don't go and touch the stove, don't go and touch the stove, don't go and touch the stove. You're going to wait till the child touch the stove or touch the hot oven, and when they get burned, then they go say, you see, I was telling you about it. No, you don't. Maybe, Andy, as a mother, right, I see differently. I see totally different, right? And I find it is distasteful and disgraceful for that to be continuing and people encouraging that behavior. That is not wrong, you know. And remember now, Telecommunications Authority of Trinidad and Tobago falls under the UNC government. It's up here in them again. Is on them now? No, we don't. We don't. Andy, we have to clean it up now. Don't wait till we reach over there to clean up anything. Andy, thanks very much for listening to me and have a good morning. Take care.
So all they read between the lines. All we have to protect with government, we have to organize. We care, and then that is technically is government. And then you want them to be saying, look at that. Look, the government had a program there. And look at the kind of language. And look at this. Remember, Kamala not on that. Rules is rules. The law is the law. Well, anti-cam in fact. For the Honorable Prime Minister. Rules is rules. Laws is laws. What we want to put our government through, the opposition or raising thing about. Look at that send letter, because you don't know about parents, people might be there in that. Look, that send letter to this program where they support the UNC. Yeah, and watch. And look, and they don't listen. And we don't want that. We don't want that. We don't want the name calling on based on things that we could deal with. Okay? Rules is rules, and we have to follow that rules. Let me continue. Go ahead, caller. Go ahead, caller.
Good morning. Good morning, Andy.
What wrong, Castle?
I want a 4.7, Mr. Tadapuna. He's a man who said reductory words. Right now, we government in power, so we have to go back in the airwave and spread the gospel and the goodness of the UNC, try to bring back this country. A big man like he's a fighter. You know, all the protests I've seen him there, man. Tyler Trent listening to all kind of words to you, because we need to go back on some airwave to defend this government. Because the PNM propaganda machine done spreading the lies and thing already. You understand, Andy?
Yeah,
so we have to get serious. We can't lapse like 2010 to 2015. We can't play for slips, because we need our 2-3 terms to bring back this country. So Mr. Tenapuna, shake up and wake up. And I was judge, long belly. Because we was in the NFL for the last 9 years, you know. When the mash young thing, you was fighting, they don't try to abuse the power now. Right? Eat little than live longer than on our border. Then fishermen on Friday trade and do the work of the company around there. That'll be asking people moving to a bag of ice. You know all this stuff for the warfare. So you have to walk out in the sea to carry ice and the boat and all that kind of thing in it. And I said that drunk people pass and pick up and fish and all that kind of thing. So I enjoy more about Sunday. Later.
Boy, I don't know about that boat now. Well, again, I really don't know. Because people saying something different with that whole boat thing. I out of that, yes. I out of that. Oh boy, that voice notes to play. Like we will get a thing. But again, can't wait whether I hoping eventually back mainstream we could talk to the whole nation like other mainstream media, you know, and really don't want no problem when that time reach. I'm not saying that the mainstream is government or the mainstream is either wherever mainstream we go or we'll be going back. Again, We cannot allow that to be sending no thing to us based on callers and their contribution. Cannot. Why? The Ground Report not risking it again. I said, So who are to be blocked because they don't want to thing on social media, they stalking choppiness? So be it. Who will have to maybe send a WhatsApp and where I go listen first, especially to the people who listen first, because that could be a solution for my boy Tunapuna. He just get him modern. Send a WhatsApp. I go make sure what is Tunapuna send a WhatsApp day. I listen first, make sure it are the words that and them talking about, and then I play it. You know, so where there's a will, there's a way to have solutions. But the main thing is we are not going back mainstream with none of the things that is quarreling about. Go ahead, caller.
Morning again, Andy Barakoya. Andy, I think we beaten up on Tunapuna a little too much. Let me tell you something. Tunapuna is no dotish person. He's an intelligent man. He have wisdom and thing. And I think he'll conform to all the rules and regulation when you see the time is right and all this kind of thing. And by, one thing I learned in life is that you don't be aggressive and arrogant when you're trying to put a point across to somebody. You let them know that, hey, so-and-so is the case, and calling him stupid and old and this and that and he miserable and thing. That I call for, because I know for a fact that a couple of months ago, Tunapuna didn't call for about a couple of weeks or thing, and everybody calling. I wonder what's going on with Tunapuna. We are here in Tunapuna. We are thing. You see, let me tell you something. Viewership and listenership with your program is what you depend on. And if you see you get up in the morning and you see it plug on and you see no viewership, no listenership or anything like that, your program can't survive. And you have to understand the people is what makes your program successful. Tunapuna, me, Orlando, Gadahar, and everybody is what does have the program where it is today. Now, we just have a mentality that as soon as something good, we want to fix it and make all rules and regulation. Everybody all of a sudden has become some sort of editor and chief journalist and chief choreographer and thing to tell you now how you're supposed to sell your product. You have a successful product and it's working for you. That is what it's about, to reach the people and have the name maintain itself, the Ground Report. Tunapuna is part of that. Now, if you decide to go on to a new level and a new platform, I feel Tunapuna will abide by all the rules and regulation. But by ponging this nonsense, Tunapuna, so this and Tunapuna, let me ease up with that. It had a man for 10 years. He was all in the highest office on our land and talking about geometry and woman grooming the lawn and all kind of notice and something. And nobody didn't have no issue with that. They make that part of their daily conversation. So, okay, Tunapuna go slip up and thing now and then and thing. I'm sure when he's ready to conform to your new platform and contribute his contribution and thing, he would fit in the way we think. But we don't try to modernize and try to make the Ground Report with all these people who know exactly how you should do your show now. Have all their input into it. You get up in the morning, your program is to sell information to the ground. That is why people are locking on. Let Tunapuna and Orlando and whosoever and things stop calling and making a contribution, whether it's controversial or how it is, and you'll see the difference where your program will reach. You will nobody. You're going up like Julia Davy and Pastor Google and thing. When they switch on, it's them and the whosoever listen to them. Nobody else. Nobody else switching you on to hear Tunapuna make a contribution in the maxi, in the thing. Look this one. Where's a parker in Port of Spain? Who used to call in? You're here and here and the show missing an ingredient. To hear Port of Spain calling me, if he's dead or he's still living or some kind of thing. We have to understand when you're selling something and you're something tasting good, and it effective, all kind of people now will come and say, hey, you know, you need to put more pepper in that sauce. You need to grind up some more garlic on there, and you sort of change your original flavor. And then you see your customers start to go away. They're looking for something else because the taste that you used to put in their mouth, they ain't getting that again. So we have to be careful. Everybody have their opinion and their little piece to put, but you had to know what you, Lennox and Mickie was selling. That is why all you're here today still. Otherwise, you might end up like Amara and Mr. X also. So we have to be careful of the advice we get in and the direction we go in and the criticism that coming from people against viewers and callers. And like I say, Tunapuna is no stupid man. And when the time comes that you're ready to move on to that other platform, same Tunapuna, you will need him to make his contribution to attract more people in that sphere to lock on, because that is what keeps media survival, listenership and viewership. Watch all the mainstream media all in America and CNN and Fox and all kind of thing. As you see them viewerships at the decline, they're ready to pull them from the mainstream, you know. So you have to be careful of the advice we take in and the direction we go in. Have a good morning, Andy. Take care, man. Later.
Right, Lennox, you could organize a real lock off the program.
Yeah,
and again, we would like to know
categorically.
but
I heard
the language is the don't word. If we had
I heard him. I heard him. But remember, we are working within constraints. We have no choice. This is regulatory as opposed to a freelance, helter-skelter, anyhow approach. So we are preparing the same contributors for that. And if there is an aberration, if there is one that may detriment the entire, because you cannot say that you want him, for example, and he's detrimenting all of it, all of what we have struggled and we have crafted over many years, then I don't think Mr. Barangpo means that we must engage that entity to sacrifice the rest of us. I don't think he meant that. But what he's hoping, and I too, is that adaptation will take place by the entity that may threaten all of us, including him, Barangpo. So we cannot sacrifice the rest of us for one, in other words. But the one must be able to adapt. And if he has confidence, as I have, that Mr. Tunapuna will adapt to the new circumstance in order to maintain the, let's say, the congeniality and the popularity, if you want to call it that, of the program, well, fine. But if we have to expunge, if we have to amputate, then we have to for the greater good. And that is the lesson that we would want to project by Andy's insistence that we begin the practice now, so that when that time comes, it is smooth sailing and it will become second nature to conform to what is required. But to tell us that we have to accept him, if that is the argument, in spite of, no, it means that all of us will be jeopardized.
Thank you very much. Again, I don't have nothing against my brother. I believe that he will organize and reform, however, hopefully, because I know it's been a while. We have been telling him to. It can be used. Remember, we went back on Guile. We was on this, and then we ended up back mainstream, which is Guile, and then we still was getting the kind of thing, and it still was happening, and they still was getting letter. But I as somebody that say it mean nothing. It's just in him. You know, it has some people. It have certain things with their language.
Nature, that's what I'm saying. So he has to take a conscientious decision in most cases like that, because my mother used to like to say that when a dog suck an egg, for example, they can't stop. But of course, if you put a hot boiled egg just so in his mouth, usually he's afraid of it now and therefore will adjust and adapt. And then any egg you see thereafter, he's certainly afraid to venture. So we may have a situation like that at this point, and the discussion we are having is towards getting that boiled egg ready so that at the end of the day, when that time comes, there will be smooth sailing, and we don't have to, of course, focus on that particular issue. Whilst we, of course, continue to promote and expand the program to greater heights.
All right. Oh boy. Well, don't forget tonight, Corridor Transformation with yours truly, Lennox Smith, at 8. While we all prepare ourselves to head back to mainstream, to organize and continue the fight in Berlin, Trinidad and Tobago, and to make sure that we get the message out to most citizens, the right message, and not what is going on right now with the rest of mainstream media, which they just point out, the messages they point out is totally against the government and not really and truly reforming or educating the people of the truth. And we, again, although we are in government, we have a fight still. And that is to make sure the right message and the truth come out. And most of Trinidad and Tobago knows what's going on. Other than the propaganda mainstream medias, that is all against the government. They are PNM. It is what it is. Right? And as Lennox say,
so true.
If we had to lose one to protect all, so be it. So be it. So until tomorrow morning, please God, I may not have to leave so early. Just lay appointments and all them things. Remember, we tell you all, we really don't get paid. This is a sacrifice. And if sometimes you will see, I will get somebody to hold on in order to carry it a certain time. But when I can't get nobody, we had to cut late early. And most likely when we go back mainstream, we would not be till 10. We will be 6 to 9. It will be 3 hours. It would not be 4 hours. You know? So, again, thanks to each and every one of you. You all could have choose any other program to look on to. You all continue to choose the Ground Report. The Ground Report are you all mouthpiece. The Ground Report are you all breakfast. The Ground Report is something that you all will want to continue to live and will continue to play a major role in the guidance or the structure, the new structure of Trinidad and Tobago. And with you all, each and every one of us playing a part. God bless each and every one of you. Look forward and seeing you all and hearing you all tomorrow, including Mr. Tunapuna. Right, so until tomorrow morning, please God, we are out of here.
Yes, my friend.
The Ground Report with Mickie K, Andy Williams, and Lennox Smith.
Bang, 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 bang.